Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial. Today's tutorial I'm going to talk about the many-to-many relationship. As you can understand from here that there are two sides and each of the sides are connected to the other side through a many-to-many relationship. So that means one side can have many instances of the other side and the other side as well can have many instances of the opposite side. Let's take an example, member table, and then we have a club table. The member has a property member ID and the club has a field club ID. With the member and club, the relationship is something like this, that one member can be part of many clubs. And again, one club can have many members. So that means this is a many-to-many relationship. And in order to hold the many-to-many relationship, we need to have another table, which I have defined over here as the member club. And we are going to put both the fields over here, the member ID and the club ID. So that means the member will be connected to the member club and also the club is connected to the member club. Member is connected to the member club through the member ID, primary key foreign key relationship between member and member club, and then the club is connected to the member club through the club ID, primary key foreign key relationship between club and member club. So that's from the database side. Now the JP implementation requires implementation of collection in both sides. So that's about the previously I talked just about the database implementation. Now how we are going to implement that in the through the JPA, and the implementation requires that we need to have both in member and club entities we need to have collections. Okay, and the collection is like set or or a list, something like that. So we configure the owning side of the relationship with join table and the foreign keys with join column annotations. Target side need to provide the name of the field which maps the relationship. So now let's take an example of how we are going to write it. So in the code, let's do something like this. First, I'm going to make an entity annotation, and then I have a table, and this is going to be same for all of the entities. Name equals, first I'm going to put the member, and then I'm defining public class member, and then the relationship I'm going to do here, what? Many to many, many to many, and then you can see that we have a new annotation here, which is the many to many. And then I'm going to tell the join table, this is another annotation, join table, and then name equals member club, okay, and then join columns equals join column, and then I'm going to say name equals member ID, and then I have inverse join column, inverse join column equals join column, and then name equals club ID, and then I'm going to write here private set club clubs. Okay, so this is one part. If I'm going to write the other part, it's going to be like this. Entity, and then table name equals club, and then public class club, and then I'm using this annotation many to many, and then mapped by equals clubs, and then I'm saying private set members. Okay, so now if we look over here, we can see that two entities, and this is the annotations are basically the same, the entity for the member and entity for the club. Okay. Now we are seeing here many to many, so you can see that over here one is many to many, and over here as well many to many relationship. And in one of the table I have defined join table name equals member club. Remember, this is the member club that we are requiring to hold the information for the many to many relationship. So if I look over here, you can see that I have a member, and then I have a club, and then I have a member club. So if I go and look over here, this is what the relationship is. I mean, this is the information. So the member club is a kind of like a table which is holding both the relationship for the club and the member whenever they are going to have multiple instances. So then, so over here I have the join table. In this case, I have put the join table, and I said that the name of the table will be member club. And then now I'm using another annotation, which is join columns. And the join columns, the purpose of the join columns is there to tell that how they are related, like which of the fields that we need to look for when they are joining. So on one side, I'm saying that this is join column is a member ID, and this is another annotation which is inverse join column. Okay, and I'm saying that the inverse join column is the club ID. Okay, so club ID, and over here is the member ID. Okay, and then I am using a set. This is a collection. This is a requirement. Okay, so this will be telling that the uh, the other information, and then over here I have defined as many to many, and then mapped by, what is that? Mapped by clubs. This is the clubs that I have defined over here, and then set member. Okay, so this is how we are going to tell the many to many relationship. So let's go back again, and you can see that we configured the owning side of the relationship with the join table. So in this case, this is the owning side join table. Okay, this is the owning side. This is the, let me write it over here. So we are saying that owning side. So in the owning side, we need to put the join table information. Over here, we configure the owning side of the relationship with the join table and the foreign keys with the join column annotations. Okay, so if we go and look over here, so we can see that we have the join columns, and here we have defined the join column and the inverse join column information. And then the target side need to provide the name of the field which maps the relationship. Okay, so that's all for today's tutorial. Thank you.